Since last night, 4 oil tankers have reportedly been attacked in the Strait of Hormuz, signaling what analysts describe as Iran's shift toward economic warfare as mounting pressure weakens its conventional military capabilities. According to reports, Iranian forces are allegedly targeting vessels using unmanned drones and limited rocket fire, causing only minor physical damage but enough disruption to alarm global insurance markets and slow the flow of oil through one of the world's most critical energy channels. A senior White House official told Axios that Iranian interference in the strait has hardened U.S. leadership's stance, while media coverage intensified as crude oil prices surged toward $100 per barrel. Amid rising geopolitical tensions, U.S. officials argue that American forces currently maintain overwhelming operational freedom in the region, claiming Iran's naval and air defense systems are significantly degraded, and that Washington is now closely evaluating security measures. Around the strait, historical comparisons have been drawn to the 1980s tankard wars, when international forces intervened to keep shipping lanes open, with former CIA Director General David Petraeus emphasizing that the current CENTCOM leadership, headed by Admiral Brad Cooper, possesses extensive operational experience in Gulf waters. While some Iranian naval assets have reportedly been neutralized, concerns remain over Iran's Mosquito fleet of fast attack boats equipped with rockets and drones, as well as the potential deployment of naval mines capable of detonating with substantial explosive force, posing a serious threat to commercial shipping and regional stability. U.S. officials report that naval forces have already destroyed around 30 Iranian vessels believed to be involved in laying naval mines in the Strait of Hormuz, but military planners warn that the threat is far from over. Iran is still believed to possess mobile surface-to-ship missile batteries positioned along its coastline, which could continue targeting commercial vessels and military ships moving through the strategic waterway. Because of this, U.S. commanders are reportedly considering strikes against Iranian ports and coastal launch sites to suppress any further aggression from the shoreline, an operation that analysts say could take several weeks to fully secure the area. Current planning suggests these actions could be carried out primarily through air and naval power without deploying ground troops inside Iran. In the meantime, the U.S. Navy, potentially supported by allied forces, may begin escorting oil tankers and commercial vessels through the strait to ensure safe passage and restore confidence in global shipping routes. Military experts believe that once conditions allow, escorted convoys will move through the strait to stabilize traffic and reassure international markets. There are also indications that allied navies may join the effort, with the British Navy reportedly considering participation alongside the United States, while Japan, whose economy depends heavily on Gulf oil supplies, could also contribute naval support. Officials say the goal is to reopen and secure the waterway as quickly as possible because the Strait of Hormuz is not only a critical route for global oil shipments but also for other essential commodities such as fertilizer and aluminum. Meaning, prolonged disruption could drive up prices worldwide. U.S. energy officials acknowledge the economic risk but say contingency plans are already in motion, including releasing large quantities of oil from emergency reserves. The White House recently announced the release of approximately 172 million barrels of oil from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve in an effort to stabilize global supply and reduce pressure on fuel prices, emphasizing that while the situation is serious and closely monitored, officials believe the energy market has enough supply and the key challenge remains ensuring that oil can safely reach international markets. Despite the tensions in the Gulf, officials say the release of oil from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve will begin quickly as part of a broader plan to stabilize global energy markets. While the military works to secure the Strait of Hormuz, the administration's immediate objective is to reopen the strait, complete ongoing operations, and reduce pressure on fuel prices, which have surged due to disruptions in one of the world's most important energy corridors. Analysts describe Iran's current strategy as a form of economic pressure, attempting to disrupt global trade and influence international markets by threatening shipping lanes. But U.S. leaders argue that multiple economic and strategic measures are already being deployed to counter those efforts. These measures include supporting insurance markets for commercial shipping, adjusting sanctions related to oil supply, and using emergency authorities such as the Defense Production Act and the Jones Act to help ease transportation costs and stabilize fuel distribution. Military planners say the broader operation could last several weeks, with air and naval forces continuing to target remaining drone networks, missile launch systems, and military infrastructure connected to Iran's defense industry, while also monitoring regional security threats. At the same time, officials stress that the objective is not to damage civilian infrastructure or harm the Iranian population, but rather to limit the capabilities of military and paramilitary groups that continue launching attacks on regional targets. including residential areas, economic facilities, and diplomatic sites. Recent reports from the region describe missile strikes causing damage in urban areas, with emergency responders treating civilians injured by